Hello everyone, my name is Brian, subbing in for Salman Khan in today's episode of KhanAcademy.org. And today we're going to solve a simple limit x squared minus 4x plus 3 over x minus 3 as x approaches 3. So in the simplest terms, what is a limit? Because before we start solving limits, we need to understand what is a limit. In the simplest term, a limit is a y value as x approaches a certain x value. So in this case, as x approaches 3, what does y approaches? So like any good mathematician, I'll put my givens. In this case, we know that our x is approaching 3, and we're questioning what does y equal. So there are three main methods in solving limits, and they range from very easy to somewhat complex. And the three methods are substitution, factoring, and conjugates with roots. So whenever you come to a limit problem, I suggest you going through each method from the top to the bottom, because they normally start off with very easy, if you could just plug it in, to pretty easy with factoring, or pretty long if you have to deal with conjugates. So with this problem, let's start with substitution and see what works. In this method, we can clearly see that substitution is not a viable option, because we can clearly see how 3 minus 3 will equal 0. And since we cannot have a 0 in the denominator, which would cause the fraction to become undefined, we would not be able to use substitution as a method to solve this limit. Our next method is using factoring, and this actually may work because I see a factorable trinomial right here. So first thing I do is I'll factor it out. There's many methods of how to factor. I'm not going to show you how to factor in this video right here, but you can just go on KhanAcademy.org to look up how to factor, and there are several methods, including the box method, diamond method, or just like I did through my head to factor out this trinomial. But once we got it factored out, we can clearly see now that there are like terms which we can cancel out, and now we're left with x squared minus 1. X minus 1, my bad, over 1. And from here, we can just use substitution to plug in 3 minus 1 over 1, which becomes 2 over 1. So we can now say that our limit of x squared minus 4x plus 3 over x minus 3 as x approaches 3 is 2. So let's write it out. As x approaches 3 in the function x squared minus 4x plus 3 over x minus 3, y approaches 2. Now of course at 3 we know the function's undefined, but if we graph it through our graphing calculator right here, I already have it set up. Here's our function. If we slide along the x-axis and we see 2.92, we're getting to 1.92. As we approach 2.96, we get to 1.96, and then we get to 3, we get to 2, and then we get to 3.04, 2.04. So we can clearly see as x approaches 3 in our function, which is a linear function by the way, because we canceled out the two factors, which makes this a simple function of y equals x minus 1. We can say that y equals 2. I hope you guys enjoy learning with me. I sure enjoy learning with you. Bye!